Happy Halloween! Hello. I hope we're all doing well and staying safe, especially with all the hurricane mess going on. I'm gonna tell you the truth. I did not want to make a painting-related Halloween special. I wanted to do something with clothes, but I didn't have enough time to prepare and or finish, so here we go. I'm not saying I didn't want to do this at all, because I did. I already had this painting in mind and had many brainstorms and ideas about what I wanted to do. So I said, okay, I'll do this and I will have a longer, more planned out chance to see how I can finally start implementing clothes on here. Now, I had a chance to get my hands on some differently shaped and sized canvases, and one of them is even smaller than my last miniatures. These are 2 by 2 inches. I was so shocked that I even found these. I had to get them. The art that I'm adding to this computer retro dreamcore theme, I think, is a mix of these two images. I wanted to mix the layout of one with the style of the other, with my own artistic additions and ideas mixed in. Ooh, piece of candy. Sorry, let's start with, Dave. So for starters, I used 2-sided tape, just like my last ones, to stick it down to my turntable. Then I added 2 layers of white paint and waited for it to dry. Along with the canvases, I got a new paintbrush, and I was damn near seething. It was hard for me to have to wait to use it for the extra details. When I finished adding the base of the background, which is the same format as my other two, with the light gray and dark blue, I started adding the base for the 4 different buttons. And this whole button situation was just outrageously long. The first one at the bottom was completely fine. I did it with no problem at all. Then I get to the others. And I've said something about this before, my perception is not that good. So I was trying my absolute hardest to make sure that everything was lined up. So I had my head at many different funny angles, my neck was sideways. From another person's point of view, I was sitting hella weird until eventually I just couldn't take it anymore and I stood up. Me adding all of the shading, which I actually love, I was surprised that I was able to get it looking so similar to the picture. But most of the sideways shots, or me adding the details and shading, I was on my feet. I needed the top-down view in order for me to get the buttons as lined up as I could. They came out great, but every time I got up, I was a little frustrated because I had to stand up, because otherwise I couldn't see what I was doing. And there is no way I'm the only artist that deals with this, because I've had to do it multiple times in the past. The last thing I decided to do was the yellow exclamation icon, which was pretty easy, as it should be. And that's everything for day one. It's pretty basic, just the base layout pretty much. I started off really good and liked it. It's always after the first day do I wish my skills were better or I never started. I will continue to explain this on day 2. Don't ask why I'm in the woods. I am one with nature. I guess I'll attempt to explain what happens next. Now, the entire second day, I filled in the blanks. But before that, if you look closely at the triangle, I actually changed the shadow on the side and fixed it off camera, just because I didn't like it. And that was because usually when you want to make a color darker, you just mix it with black. But most of the time, that doesn't work with yellow. And it ends up coming out a bit of like a swampy green color. So instead, you would use a brown paint color to darken the yellow. But I did that on day 1, and I didn't like it. So I ended up mixing the yellow with black anyways, and only then did it look right. While I was doing the buttons, I was so hyper-focused on not messing them up, which, thankfully, I did not. After I did those, it actually took me a bit to decide, but I put shadows behind the buttons and the sign, which actually frustrated the hell out of me, because they were coming out a little too thick, but I fixed them. After I did the shadows, I was damn near moving in slow motion doing the outlines. and I had no problems with that part. The problem snuck up on me when I was doing the letters. I'm gonna try not to mention every single problem that I had because there's just too many to list. I started off fine. I took my time with the first word. And then I got to that second F. And I fucked it up. I fucked up the whole flow somehow. Because after I took that breath, I was like, you know what? It's fine. I can go back and fix the lines with the dark blue. I did that and the white words turned out fine. Now, as you can see, I completely skipped over me doing the standby. I did that on purpose, thinking, oh, it'll take me too long, so I just won't film it. And I was right, it took me a bit, but the other options took me at least 3 times longer. Why? I'll tell you why. 1, my eyes had started to become dry during just me doing the words, and I kept rubbing them because my vision was getting blurry, so I could barely see. 2, I had to constantly keep switching between my new brush and my green brush that I customized. Because 1 second I was like, okay, I'm at a good angle, and then the next, the brush I was using was making everything look too thick. I haven't the slightest idea if I was being too heavy-handed, because it felt like I was being as light as a feather, feeling like I wasn't even touching the canvas half the time. Three, I had to restart or change it, make sure it was even, over and over and over and over, again and again and again and again. I don't know why I said that, because that wasn't the end of it. I was supposed to add more this day, but I was so damn stressed. I had to stop. I was even sitting at my desk, pondering so hard, wondering if I should continue. What I decided to add next definitely made me feel like I messed up whatever plan I was going with. I'll explain it further later on. that's all for the second day. I did do a close-up shot so you can see better the work I did. We should probably just move on because yeah. Apparently there's candy out here too. Look. Oh man. So I decided to change my area. It is surprisingly empty, like everywhere today, which is usually not the norm. But let's talk about day 3. What I said about feeling like I messed up was because I tried to make some of the words look like a 3D model glitched out. I don't know, something like it was the first thing that came to my mind. I was okay with it at first, but the more I left it and kept looking at it, the more I wished I didn't do it. The next thing I added was just a bunch of glitchy mouse pointers. Honestly, not much to explain. I should just speed this up a little. I was actually pretty stuck on what error codes to use, but I did decide to use one from my last miniature and another one that's code for memory error. I truthfully don't even know if these codes are accurate. I went to like 2 different websites and they had like the exact same codes. Some of them had more than the other. I'm pretty sure they're made up codes, and for some reason I think I just didn't do enough research. I couldn't really find like a real like authentic code to put down, and I probably just didn't do enough research. But like I'm pretty sure what I'm using are made up, but either way the website that I got them from, that's what it stands for, is memory error. I was messing up on these numbers so much, I barely even had the energy to try and fix them, so I just moved on from them for a while and just focused on the logo for a bit. And I know there's someone that thought, oh, she's gonna accidentally leave it blank again. Not this time. I'm gonna interject something here real quick just because I thought it was hilarious how genuine my reaction was.
Hey, Mr. Smith.
Hold up.
Want to try out my time
Bitch,
machine?
they brought this fucking Doritos commercial back?
So now what?
Gotta put the whole bag in.
What? I didn't even skip the ad, I just watched the rest of it. I did also add the same glitchy effect from the words to the cursors. I feel like you could definitely tell I'm not very excited or enthusiastic to talk about this, but I'll explain why. I was a little excited to paint the logo. I was waiting to do that at least. After I finished the logo, I once again was sitting and pondering why none of this looked finished. Like it was just missing something. In the end, I just decided to add an hourglass cursor just to add something the slightest bit different. And that concluded the painting process. I put in a short clip so you can see more close up. Later on, I added a top coat of Mod Podge and then waited for it to dry. And when I do these paintings, I usually use two lights, so I turned one off because the gloss is so shiny, it's just a bit harder to see. And I wanted to say, I know someone in the future is probably going to be screaming at me, saying, why the hell would you ruin your paintings with Mod Podge? But truthfully, these paintings, my favorites, the ones I tend to dislike, or anything like that, are all test runs or experimental. My first times. But either way, it doesn't really matter, because I can always do it again, the way I hoped it would turn out. We can always try again. I have also never had the privilege of testing out varnishes. I have never even been able to buy one. But overall, the big question is, do I like this painting? And the answer is, no, I don't like it. The more I've looked at it over time, the more I've started to come around to it a bit more. But realizing I didn't like it made me think, You know what? I need to switch up what I'm painting for now, and a little bit further ahead. Adding on to the same theme almost 3 times in a row is a little tiring, and I think maybe even a little played out for me. And I want to try a different theme next time. Whether it's a miniature, a 7x7, or a large canvas, I believe I should put this theme at the back of the closet for a little while and reflect. I just want to say it took me a very long time to believe the words, "It's okay to mess up." I believe that now, and I didn't even know that until my beliefs started to show when I was working on other projects. Some of you would probably think, why put this on the internet if you don't like it? Why not? I have actually always believed that some of the best artists, the people that made it, trying to make it, the people still putting their hard, dedicated work out there for people to see, even though they've started to believe, it doesn't matter because it's never going to get the attention it deserves, are better at their craft when they are self-aware enough to admit fault, admit their mistakes and their wrongs. And that's what I'm learning. I will never get anywhere if I don't learn to bear or just take a knee for something that I messed up on and either improve it or, no matter how long it took, just try again. But hey, this painting only took me 3 days. I predicted 4, but I would love to know how you feel about all of this. Whatever, from the beginning, middle, or end, I would love to hear how you feel or what you think. Either way, just know this definitely isn't the last that you'll see of me. This whole thing was long.